What's up everybody, Jeffrey McAvoy here. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for stopping by, thank you for subscribing if you just did. This video is going to be a long one, so hold on to your butts. It's about the steering geometry of the Traxxas TRX-4, which I heavily modified after crashing the thing like a f***ing idiot. Now, I was on the trail testing the new gyro function which accompanies the new radio that I've just installed. Make sure that you check out the video about that. I will make sure to demonstrate the capabilities of this system in another video. Now, in the meantime, I was in the forest having a blast with the TRX-4, you know, going flat out in this dust terrain. I don't usually speed bash. I actually hate doing it, but you know, I was into it, man. I was crazy, and then this happened, and then I actually crashed it. It was insane. The camera was resting on some metal waffle boards which I made and are busy prototyping, and I was busy testing that day, and I nearly destroyed my camera, and the force of the impact was so huge I thought I'd destroyed the TRX-4 as well. It was crazy insane. And so this is actually what happened. The steering geometry is slightly modified. Now, it's nothing serious. This video is 10 minutes long, but I'll tell you up front, it's just the steering servo horn which slipped a couple of teeth, and that's all there is to it. So, you know, if you have other things to do and move on about your day, well, there you go. Now, if you're interested about learning how to take care of this TRX-4, then stick around. The servo horn is still original. It's one of the parts which I knowingly did not upgrade to the aluminium one, because this is actually what took the blow, and the blow was so hard that it dislocated the light bar at the top right there. That's how hard the blow was. Now, here's a quick little gadget which is just a spirit level which helps to tell the gradients. More on that later. This poor TRX-4 was bashed around today, so let's take care of it. Thank you for sticking around. Now, this is also a quick demo of how I take care of the TRX-4 every time I get home from the trail. I just use compressed air and just blow the whole thing down, man. I blow my TRX-4, yes I do, and I'm not ashamed to say it, you know? There you go, that's one thing off my mind. It's the easy way of getting rid of all that dirt and dust and sand and God knows what else you can get in there. So with the compressed air, you know, set it to 2 psi is more than enough, and use a paintbrush, which I only use for cleaning my TRX-4, and then use compressed air and the paintbrush, and that gets rid of all the crap that's out there. If you're interested, I'll make another video in detail about how I clean it. Now, here is exactly what happened. These two waffle boards were supporting my camera, and I crashed it like an idiot into the waffle boards, and so it slit the tire. Quick word on those tires: the MTX Hustler are absolutely amazing. I highly recommend them to anybody who has a TRX-4. They're really, really good. Now, this is how strong the impact was. I actually needed a pair of pliers to sort this thing out. Now, here's a you know, quick view about these prototypes that I'm busy studying. They aren't very efficient, but you know, I'm back to the drawing board with that. They definitely saved my camera, so I'm quite happy. And there you have it. More on that later. So when you start up the TRX-4, it does this steering centering thing, and as you can tell, the steering is mightily off-center. Now, as I said, the force of the blow was so hard, I really thought that I'd destroy the TRX-4, so I decided to go the full length and check everything. Now, none of the steering rods are bent, nothing is actually broken, there's just a lot of play in the steering, but that's just due to regular use. These steering knuckles are made out of plastic, although the knuckles themselves are metal, but you know, with sand and grit it does wear into the plastic and gives this steering slop, which I was well aware that I had before I crashed this thing like an idiot. So, you know, just yeah, checking for play, see where the play is at, and you know, I've got another set of steering tire rods on the drawing boards, you know, with the making them adjustable. Here is an issue that I did notice arise after the incident. If you listen closely, there's this regular sort of cracking noise in first gear that is quite intense. Now, my dear viewers, I would be highly interested to know if your TRX4 has the same issue, if it does this same noise. So would you please check and let me know in the comment section if your TRX4 does this same kind of noise. Thank you for letting me know. Another strange occurrence when I was testing the steering for hard spots and binding. When the battery is connected, it actually seems to be powering the motor somehow. It's as if the steering servo generates some type of current which goes through the ESC and powers the motor. It's quite strange, so let me know in the comment section if your TRX4 does this as well. I digress, but I would be interested to know, actually. I'll take this opportunity to make this video about how to remove the front axle off your TRX4 if you're interested in doing so. Now here's a close-up view of the play in all the steering joints and the kingpins as well, which rest on some nylon bushings. This is not the model with bearings on it, it's just these nylon bushings. So it's just a matter of untightening all the link screws, one that you, well, here's the actual steering rod, which has a lot of play in the ball joints, as you can clearly tell. So it's just a matter of removing everything. I suggest that you set the screws so that you can fit them back in the proper order. Now, one that you have to remove as well is the one from the drive shaft, the little pin from the drive shaft. Try not to lose that, otherwise you're definitely screwed. Removing the shock absorber screws and and the suspension links, obviously. Last but not least is the cable for the T-lock system, which you can just pop off right there. Now here's a quick view of an easy mod that I have made as well, which I'm very satisfied with. Is just a piece of bicycle tube which protects the motor from, you know, getting all that crap inside there, and it also helps when you go in water, you know, to create sort of that bow wave, which is really cool. Bottom line is, my engine's protected. Now to actually remove the steering servo, you have to also remove the suspension brace or body mount. Actually, it serves both purposes, call it what you will, and remove the motor by removing the bolts, quite simply. There's a lot of information in this video, so thank you so much for watching. And this is the servo that I use, the D645MW Digital Super Torque from High-Tech, with a ridiculous slow-mo right there. Whatever. Now I'm checking for binding, and I did find a bit of a hard spot right around the center of the steering. So this would indicate that there possibly is some damage with the internal gearing of the servo itself. I decided to look on the inside of the steering servo. This is when I realized that it's absolutely not watertight, and the bloke who sold it to me told me that it was. That stupid mother. That liar, man. I'll never go to this shop again. And this is when I realized that I was way out of my depth in this. I think that I'll just live with a bit of binding in the steering servo and put this back together and get back on the trails. You know what I'm saying? You know, downtime sucks. I don't have a replacement for it, and so guess who's going to make a special appearance in this video again? My favorite friend, my high temperature red silicone gasket maker tube, which is lasting me a lifetime. You know, if you've been watching my videos long enough, you know that I like to seal everything off. And this is no exception, since I was lied to and coaxed into buying this stupid thing, which is not watertight. The original one is. I actually salvaged a bolt because I lost one on the workshop floor. I'll never find it again, and yeah, the one from the TRX4 even has an O-ring on it, so that's some good quality stuff. It's just a shame that it blew after 2 days. Anyway, I digress again. This is the actual source of the problem. the splines have stripped on the servo horns. I'm so glad that I did not upgrade to the aluminium steering servo horn, because otherwise it would have blew the servo to pieces. The fact is that the blow that this took, you know, knocked the steering off center. If the steering servo was made out of aluminium, it would definitely have blown the servo to pieces. So I'm really glad that it didn't. It's just a matter of relocating the plastic servo horn on its neutral point, and that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks. There's huge amount of space to relocate the servo. So shall I do this? Yes sir, I'm going to do this. In the meantime, if you're interested in getting running again, just fit the servo back in place. After it's centered, slap the front axle back on, and you're back on the trails, man. But you know, that's just too easy for me, man. That's really too easy. I decided to, you know, to grind my gears on something, to go crazy, to go wild, and to fabricate a steering servo relocation bracket. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you watch the upcoming video about it. So in the meantime, I thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for bearing with me babbling for so long. You know, I really appreciate it. Thank you for dropping a like. Thank you for subscribing if you just did. I'll definitely make sure to catch you in the next video, which will be about relocating the steering servo. So thank you so much, guys. Catch you all in the next video.